Hello, welcome to video lecture number 9 on strength of materials.
Here, this is a slightly different statically indeterminate structure. Two vertical rods, steel and copper, are rigidly fixed at the top and they are 500 mm apart. As both the rods are vertical, they should be parallel. So I will draw two rods like this. And they are fixed at the top. Let us say it is fixed like this. Steel, copper. And they are 500 mm apart. Diameter and length of each rod are 20 mm and 4 meter respectively. Means 20 mm, 20 mm, 4 meter. A crossbar fixed to the rods at the lower end. Crossbar means it is horizontal now. I just have to connect two vertical bars like this. This is called crossbar. Crossbar fixed to the rods at the lower end carries a load of 5 kilonewton such that the crossbar remains horizontal even after loading. Means there is a load like this now. Crossbar has a load like this, 5 kilonewton. But that load is not at the center of the crossbar. Both the vertical members, if they are made up of same material, let us say steel, then I should have placed this 5 kilonewton load at the center exactly, because both the members will deform to the same extent. But steel and copper, they deform to a different extent. So if you apply the load at the center of the crossbar will not remain horizontal because of difference in deflection. So now we have to find out what is this distance x such that the crossbar remains horizontal. Find the stress in each bar and the position of the load on the crossbar. Means x we have to find out, and what is the stress in steel and copper bars we have to find out. In order to find the stress in steel and copper rods, we should know what is the load acting in steel and copper member. I will call PS as a load acting in the steel member, and I will say PC, the load acting in the copper member. For equilibrium, PS plus PC should be is equal to 5 kilonewton. Applied load is 5 kilonewton. And the load carried by steel member is PS. Load carried by copper member is PC. So PS plus PC should be equal to 5 kilonewton. This is one of the equations. What is the kinematic condition I have to use now? See, in order to have the crossbar horizontal, steel and copper rods has to deform to the same extent. Then only crossbar will be horizontal. I will just explain this. This is the original length of steel member. Copper member is having the same length. Top end is fixed. So if steel member deforms to extent like this, if copper member deforms more, then what happens to crossbar? Crossbar will be inclined like this. Or if steel member deforms more than the copper member, then crossbar will not remain horizontal, it will be like this. But he says crossbar remains horizontal, means that is possible only when the deformations are equal. So this is DL of steel, this is DL of copper. So when DL of steel is equal to DL of copper, then only this is possible. So that I have to use it as a kinematic condition now. So to keep the crossbar horizontal, DLS has to be equal to DLC, and DLS is what? DL by E of steel should be equal to DL by E of copper. P for steel member we have called it as PS. Length is same for both, 4 meter, I write it as 4000 mm, divided by area. Area is also same for both, pi into 20 square by 4 into E. E of steel is 200 gigapascal, 200 into 10 power 3 is equal to P of copper is PC into length of copper is also 4000 mm divided by area of copper is also pi into 20 square by 4. But E is different here. It is 100 into 10 power 3. For this PC, I can substitute 5 minus PS from here. So when you do that, only unknown will be PS. So you will get PS as 3333.33 Newton, or it is 3.3333 kilonewton. Once you know PS, you can always find PC as 5 minus PS, 5 minus 3.33, which is 1.6666 kilonewton. Now what else is required? We have to find out the stress in each rod. Another thing is we have to find out the position of the load on the crossbar. Stresses in the rod for steel, PS by AS I have to do. 3333.33 divided by area is pi into 20 square by 4. You will get 10.61 Newton per mm square. For copper, if you do PC by AC, 1666.66 divided by pi into 20 square by 4, you will get 5.305 Newton per mm square. See, to find out X, we will write the free body diagram FBD of the crossbar. So this is the crossbar. This is the crossbar. This is the applied load of 5 kilonewton. And this is at a distance of X here. And this total distance is 500. PS is calculated. It will be like this. And PC will be like this. So this is what is called free body diagram of crossbar. Now when you write the free body diagram, you can take the moment of forces now in order to find out what is X. I'll take this point as O, left corner. I'll take the summation of all the moment about O. So when you take the moment, PS into distance is 0, so PS will not produce any moment at O. PC will produce a moment. PC into 500 is a moment. 1.6666 into 10 power 3 because it is kilonewton into 500. That's the moment. But it is anti-clockwise moment for point O. If you take that as positive, the other moment which is produced by 5 kilonewton load, which is clockwise, that has to be taken as negative. So 5 into 10 power 3 into X, the distance of the 5 kilonewton load. This should be equal to 0. Now only X is unknown. Can find out X. 166.67 mm you will get. If you go back to this problem expression now, observe total distance is 500 and the load should act at 166 mm in order to keep the crossbar horizontal. A rigid beam. See, ABC is a rigid beam here. I told you in one of the problem previously, when we say rigid, it will not undergo any deformation. It is only for transferring the load. So ABC is only for transferring the load now. It is not undergoing any deformation. But steel brass and steel wires, they are undergoing deformation. So we should be able to find out the load carried by each member. We have to consider the load carried by steel member here. I'll call it as PS1. Load carried by brass member, I'll call it as PB. Load carried by another steel member, I'll call it as PS2. Now for equilibrium, PS1 plus PS2 plus PB should be equal to 50 kilonewton applied load. Now you see there are three unknowns, PS1, PS2 and PB, three unknowns and one equation. This cannot be solved now as it is. So we have to use kinematic condition for this. And in the problem he has not said that crossbar remains horizontal or beam remains horizontal. It is not given. So it can deflect anyway. Load is totally offset, so it will undergo some deformation such that ABC is not horizontal, definitely. First, I will represent this beam ABC as it is. Now, let us say after application of 50 kilonewton load, let us say it deforms like this. The deformation in the left end to be more, just exaggerating the deformation. Let us say ABC undergoes deflection like this now. I'll call this position as A dash, B dash and C dash. A, B, C is the original position of steel, brass and steel wires. And after applying 50 kilonewton load, let us say A, B, C gets shifted to A dash, B dash, C dash. Now observe that A dash is nothing but change in length of steel portion 1, DLA. This distance is change in length for the point C, and this distance DL of B, or deformation in the brass, DLB. I'm drawing a line here through the point C dash. And I will call this point as A1, this point as B1. Why I am drawing like this is, I want to get a relationship between DLA, DLB and DLC. Kinematic condition is that only. If I can get some relationship between those three parameters, then I'll be able to use equilibrium condition into that and I'll be able to solve. Now, this AA1 is nothing but DLA minus DLC, because it is AA dash minus AA1. Similarly, this is what B1 B dash, DLB minus DLC. Distance between AB is what? 2x, and distance between BC is also 2x. Now you consider the triangles A dash, A1, A dash, one triangle, B1, A dash, A dash, other triangle. They are similar triangles. When you have similar triangles, ratio of sides can be equated. From triangle A dash, C dash and B1, B dash, C dash, we can write the ratio of sides A1 A dash divided by B1 B dash 4x divided by 2x. So this ratio is 2, and I can write A1 A dash is equal to 2 into B1 B dash, and A1 A dash is what? DLA minus DLC is equal to 2 times B1 B dash is what? DLB minus DLC. If you further simplify this, comes DLA can be written as 2 times DLB minus DLC, or I will write it as PL by AE of portion 1, if I call this as 1, 2 and 3, is equal to 2 times DLB. DLB is what? PL by AE of portion 2 minus PL by AE of portion 3. What is P for the first portion? It is PS1. Call it as PS1. And length, I will write it as L only. Area is also same. E for the first portion is nothing but ES. It is steel. Is equal to 2 times PL by AE for the middle portion, that is brass, EB. Length is L divided by area is A into Young's modulus is EB, minus third portion PS2 into length L divided by area into E steel. In the problem, he has given that ES is equal to 2 into EB. So ES can be written as 2 EB here, and this can be written as 2 EB. So EB becomes common on left hand side and right hand side. It can be cancelled. L can be cancelled throughout. A can be cancelled throughout. So this equation, to simplify, it reduces to PS1 plus PS2 is equal to 4 into PB. This equation is already there. This is equation 1, equilibrium equation. And this is kinematic condition now. This is equation 2. Using equation 2 in equation 1, we can write 4 PB plus PB is equal to 50 kilonewton, or PB is equal to 10 kilonewton. So we got one unknown, but still PS1 and PS2 separately we should be able to calculate. You can take the free body diagram of ABC. This is ABC, and here there is a load PS1, and here there is a load PB, and here there is a load PS2. 50 kilonewton load is acting here. This is X, X, 2X, and you can call this point as O. This PB is 10 kilonewton. We have found out. Take moment about O. There are 3 loads. PS1 into 0 distance becomes 0. Other 3 terms I have to write. I will write one by one. PS2 into 4x, that is a moment which is anti-clockwise, plus PB which is 10 into 2x is also anti-clockwise, minus 50 into x. This is clockwise. I have written minus here. Equate to 0. Now here x can be cancelled throughout. The only unknown is PS2. So find out PS2 from this. You will get 7.5 kilonewton. And when you substitute this PS2 into equation 1 or equation 2, so PS1 you will get it as 32.5 kilonewton. So all the 3 unknowns we are able to find out. You can find many examples like this. Here is one such problem. Is a rigid bar ABCD which is supported by steel wires. So here also rigid bar ABCD will not undergo deformation, but based on the deformation of steel wires, you can form similar triangles here also and arrive at the solution. I'll give the answer here. Stresses in each wire. Sigma 1 you should get it as 6000 MPa. Stresses in the other member you should get it as 12,000 MPa. These stresses are very high actually. Practically such high stress will not be possible. Steel wires will not sustain so much load. Something wrong in the data, I think. That's why you're getting so much value of stress. Anyway, you can check whether you get this value for this problem. Similarly, you can take up one more problem. It is also a horizontal beam, a different support condition. I'll write answers here also. P1 you will get it as 2.5 kilonewton, and P2 you should get it as 15 kilonewton. I have a typical problem displayed on the screen now. It is a circular bar of 250 mm square cross-sectional area and 2.6 meter long. The total length is 2.6 meter. And it is rigidly fixed at its top in vertical position. So end A is fixed. An axial force of 20 kilonewton is applied vertically downward at a distance of 0.8 meter from the upper support. That is at point B. That is axial load. There is an initial gap of 0.1 mm between the lower support and the bottom surface of the member. There is a small gap of 0.1 mm. Determine the stresses and deformations induced in the portions A, B and BC.
take E is equal to 200 gigapascal. To solve this problem, we have to take the problem in two different cases. First case, we already know if there is a case like this, a bar fixed here and applied with a load like this, we know how to solve it. And also we know if the same bar is fixed at both ends, then if we consider the same load, then also we know how to solve it. Current problem is a combination of these two. When you apply 20 kilonewton load, the surface will move downward freely because it does not have any support. So when there's a gap, to fill this gap, it experiences same kind of deformation. But once it attains this much deformation, then it goes to case B. See, when you apply 20 kilonewton load, certain portion of this 20 kilonewton load will be utilized by portion AB to undergo a deformation of 0.1 mm. Because when you apply load here, when there is a gap here, to fill this 0.1 mm gap, AB will deform, but BC will not deform. It will just rigidly move. A portion of 20 kilonewton load is utilized by portion AB in undergoing deformation of 0.1 mm. That load we have to identify. It will be less than 20 kilonewton. So once it is found out, the remaining load will be applied here, P dash. So let us say P1 is a amount of load utilized by portion AB to undergo deformation of 0.1. And once the point C touches the lower support, then it reduces to case B. So what is the remaining portion? 20 kilonewton minus P1. So first we'll find out the load required or utilized by portion AB in undergoing a deformation of 0.1 mm. We know that DL is equal to PL by AE. Now we know DL. DL is 0.1. We'll find out P1. Length of portion P1 is 0.8 meter, that is 800 mm, divided by area of cross section is given 250 mm square into Young's modulus is 200 into 10 power 3. So if you calculate, it will be 6200 Newton or 6.2 kilonewton. Load applied is 20 kilonewton. But in that 20 kilonewton, 6.2 kilonewton will be utilized by portion AB to undergo a deformation of 0.1, and the remaining portion will be applied in the case B. Now for P1, you can find out what is the stress in AB, but stress in BC in this case is 0 because it will not take any load. So corresponding stress induced in portion AB, I will write it as AB1, which is P1 by A. P1 is 6.2 into 10 power 3, A is 250. We'll get it as 25 MPa. This is the stress induced in portion AB in the case 1. Now we'll try to take up case B. P dash is now 20 minus 6.2, which is 13.8 kilonewton. So with this amount of load, 13.8 kilonewton, we have to solve this case. So there will be a reaction here. This you can call it as RA, because this point is A. And here there is a reaction force, which can be called as RC, because this point is C. This point is B. We are interested in stresses in AB and BC. So equilibrium equation, if you take load experienced by portion AB plus load experienced by portion BC is equal to applied load, 13.8 into 10 power 3 Newton. Or we used to write it in terms of reaction, RA plus RB is equal to P dash. The same equation is this now. It is easy for me to write load in terms of stress. So I'll write it like this. Load P is equal to stress into area, because stress is load by area. So you can write this equation as PAB, I'll write it as sigma AB into A. Sigma AB1 is written already, so I'll call this as sigma AB2 plus sigma BC into A is equal to 13.8 into 10 power 3. Leave this as equation 1. This is the equilibrium equation, and kinematic condition is, or displacement condition is, DL in the portion AB should be equal to DL in the portion BC. Magnitude should be equal, because whatever the extension that is experienced in portion AB should be equal to the compression that is experienced in the portion BC. So deformation has to be equal. And DL for first portion is PL by AE of portion AB should be equal to PL by AE of portion BC. But we know that P by A is stress. I can write P by A as stress here also, P by A as stress. So I will write this as sigma AB into LAB divided by A is same for both, E is also same for both. So I'll write it as it is equal to P by A for the portion BC. I will write it as sigma BC into length of BC divided by A and E. I can cancel out this AE and AE and substitute for LAB. So E can be cancelled. So sigma AB into length of portion AB. Length of portion AB is 800 mm, but it has undergone a deformation of 0.1 mm. So now in case B, I have to take the length of AB as 800.1. Even if you neglect that 0.1, result will not change much, but it is correct to consider that also because AB would have deformed 0.1 by now. So length of AB should be 800.1 mm. This should be equal to sigma BC into the length of portion BC, 1.8 meter means 1800 mm. So this equation can be simplified or written as sigma AB2 is equal to, I think you will get it as 2.25 times sigma BC. So this is actually kinematic condition equation 2. Now substitute equation 2 in equation 1. Using equation 2 in equation 1, we get, you have to substitute sigma AB2 in terms of sigma BC into equation 1 and simplify, solve for sigma BC. So you will get sigma BC as 17 MPa. And again, this can be substituted into equation 2. Equation 2 will give you sigma AB2, which will be 38.3. So in the second case, stress observed in portion AB is 38.3 megapascal and stress observed in portion BC is 17 megapascal. But in case A also we have seen some stress in portion AB, that is 25 megapascal. So totally portion AB is experiencing total stress in portion AB is sigma AB, which is a summation of sigma AB1 and sigma AB2, which is 25 plus 38.3 is 63.3 MPa. In portion BC, it is just 17 MPa. This is the answer for the question.